Hello, and welcome to the 6th episode of the Study Abroad Diaries by M. This week was fall break, so I left Paris for a German-speaking adventure through Austria, Germany, and Switzerland, or as I should maybe try to say, Österreich, Deutschland und Schweiz. This was my first big self-guided trip, being 9 days long with a couple days of solo travel, so I was really nervous leading up to it. And although not everything went perfectly, it was still one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. We are in the miniature elevator on our way down. I'm so tired. I slept 4 hours.
Documents that should arrive visited.
Hi. Who's judging me right now? It is a champignon schnitzel. Alright. Here we go. So on our first evening, we went to the opera house, and if you don't think you like opera but you've never tried listening to it before, I would recommend giving it a try because seeing it in person is a million times more impressive than on a recording. Afterwards, some very kind Austrian youth helped us order some Wurst, and that was pretty much it for the first day. I just had an exchange entirely in German, and it worked out. I got a piece of bread that's bigger than my head, and I don't know what to do now.
That is good, but it's about the blandest thing I could have possibly gotten.
After breakfast, we headed off to Schönbrunn. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but we went there to have lunch at Café Gloriette and to see the palace. And that's when I realized that we're actually eating here. Cheers!
Oh, my stories is like really nice.
This is something new.
I've never had this kind of pasta.
Me neither. We must be in the first district.
Wait, yes. Definitely, actually, right?
The next day, we headed to the first district to start our day with some breakfast at Demo, which is this famous salon, I guess, where they have lots of pastries and cakes. Some Austrian nobility. We had to wait in line a little bit to get in, but it was worth it. Oh my goodness, I got coffee here.
It's like beef stew with sliced pancakes.
Sliced pancakes.
This is like literally so sliced that it's a noodle. Like,
Got a French croissant. After breakfast, we headed off to our first free walking tour, and guys, I can't recommend these enough. I usually book them on Guru Walk, and this isn't sponsored, but every time I've had a really good experience with them. I find that it's just a really good way to get an introduction to a city's history, and sometimes the guides will also tell you their recommendations on where to go, what to see, and that's super helpful if you haven't planned out every single bit of your trip. Also, they're technically free, although you're usually expected to tip like at least $15 to $20 or euros at the end. And also sometimes I've made friends on these, so overall, it's a good time. After the tour ended, we decided to go up to the top of one of the churches because they had a viewing deck where you could see a bird's eye view of Vienna and all of its misty glory.
video call.
Good. But I'm excited to finally have the schnitzel. The next day, we said goodbye to foggy Vienna and hopped on the train, or the Bahn, as they call it, had some lunch, and just like that, boom, we were in Munich. In case you were wondering if people celebrate Halloween here, yes they do. But we didn't have any plans, so we just got dinner, and it was really funny because my waiter challenged me to try my order again, but this time without mistakes, as he put it. But he wasn't mean about it or anything, it was just a good-natured like, oh, I'm gonna help you practice your German. And honestly, I appreciated that. The next day, we set out early in the morning for our next walking tour of Munich. And oh boy, was this an interesting one. Honestly, we had a really good tour guide. Shout out to Brett if he ever hears this. And we also made friends on this, so it was honestly really special.
And for some very strange reason, built the two most modern looking buildings in the entire inner city on each side of it. That way it really pops out to us, right?
Nice.
This is some else, livestock or anything like that. This square right here is actually 50 kilometers from where we're standing at the moment. A tall arched window. Closest.
That's right there.
Please help your friends if they aren't. I'm here for one of several of the Royal Wittelsbacher family estates here.
Honestly, I liked Munich a lot, and I'm probably biased because I had such good memories here, but it's a very walkable city with really good public transit, and honestly, people here were really nice, and there's a lot of English speakers if that's something you need to lean on. It's definitely one of the more affordable European cities to travel to. Wow, this next day was a very memorable day with two major parts that were very different from each other. First, we took a train out of Munich to go see the Neuschwanstein. I think that's how you say it. It's basically the castle that inspired the Sleeping Beauty castle. It was a very scenic train ride, and oh my god, when I saw these mountains for the first time, I damn near lost my mind. I didn't realize how much I missed mountains while I was living in Paris. And also, these are the Alps. I think I'm starting to get why these are internationally famous. Unfortunately, we didn't get to visit the inside of the Neuschwanstein, as you actually need to book tickets at least a week in advance. That's where we're going, and here's how we're getting in. So instead, we visited the castle that was pretty much right next to it. It's the Schloss Hohenschwangau, I think. After exploring the castle for a bit, I decided to hike up to the other castle to check it out. Holy cow, this literally looks like a fairy tale. I really thought it would take longer to reach, but there it is. After sunset, we headed back to Munich to get some dinner with our new friends from the walking tour, and then we decided to see what nightlife was like in Munich. I want to say this is my first time properly clubbing, at least as much as one can on a Wednesday night, so I didn't really know what to do, but it was definitely an interesting experience. Hi. Okay, let me just tell you how dumb I am. I booked my next hostel, and I booked that for the wrong week. And so I am like pretty tired. I'm way too tired to deal with this right now. And so I decided that I'm going to stay in Munich another day because I made some friends at a hostel, and I don't know, this is gonna be my first time staying at a hostel, and I'm kind of scared, and I'd rather do it where I know people, and plus Munich is so much cheaper to stay in than Zurich. And plus there was a bunch of things at Munich that I wanted to see but didn't have time to do, so now I'll have time to do them, so that's great. For some context, this was actually my first solo travel day because my friend Emily and I parted ways. She went back to Paris and I went to do some more exploring, but I wasn't fully alone because I had my friends that I had made from earlier doing that trip. And with some of them, and sometimes alone, I went and did things that day. And it was really freeing to know that I could just walk around and do things alone. Like this museum, I completely speed ran it because they were going to close in like half an hour. Next, I decided to experience some more culture with Hofbräuhaus. The next morning, I headed out to see Munich one last time before my train to Zurich, and that was it for my time in Germany. Yo, he's like a yellow walking person. This is our situation up here. We got a reading light, one plug but 2 USB ports, and a nice little thing to rest your phone on. Honestly, not bad. I kind of like this better than the last hostel. Today I headed off to Luzern with my friend Kristen, who had flown in that morning from Paris, and our new friend Richie, who I had met literally the night before and had spontaneously agreed to hike Mount Pilatus with us the next day.
Hi.
Hi.
Wait, you should do that with this background.
Oh, actually, you're so right.
Hi.
Truth is, I've met a lot of people on my travels, but I haven't included all of them in my vlogs because I'm too embarrassed to tell people that I vlog. But with Richie, it was different because he also makes videos. I'm getting you a clip that maybe you can use. And so as friends, both new and old, we set off on our next adventure.
My friend nostalgia, I found you when I heard the sweet sound of the ones who I once knew so well. In a voice memo from years ago, we were laughing about some nonsense.
And yeah, we were losing our minds over this. It's just 2 cars.
We could totally jump on top of that thing. Can I just say?
Circumstances made it so that I'll never see their faces, except for on the internet, where I'll never really know what's going on behind their smile. I mean, I guess I could check in once in a while.
Oh my god.
Best friends are growing up.
What about it?
There's no time for us to pretend we'd stay in touch, 'cause everybody knows it will never be the same. We move on and people change. Yeah, us friends are growing.
This here is as far as we've gotten, and we're just gonna go back now, I guess.
I'll never get to see
Yeah, like I'm like, we're already here again.
to know. Still on my phone, I look back at the pictures and I reminisce when I'm alone. To keep myself from forgetting. Will we ever meet again on this side of heaven?
On the last day of the trip, I finished things off with a final walking tour of Zurich. Are we even surprised at this point? And just like that, that was the end of my German speaking adventure. I'd say this was one of the most impactful experiences I've had, I guess, in my life, because I guess navigating a foreign country with just yourself or with one or two other people kind of gives you a confidence boost. I didn't really get the appeal of traveling alone or traveling in small groups really until this happened. And so thank you so much to everybody that came with me and everybody that I met along the way. And thank you to you for watching this video. Here you can apparently get kisses and juices on order. It's hilarious. Okay. Alele, guys.
I don't even know her name, but I loved her.
Wow, jeez.
Kiss somebody in Europe yet?
No.
You should kiss one person in Europe.
And that's on video now.
Oh no!